I am Ryan, the life changer, and I am so grateful that you decided to join me today. This podcast is called Unlock the Power of Your Mind. Let me ask you a question. Are you ready for your life to change? Are you ready to unlock the power of your mind? Are you ready to be the best version of you possible? I want to help you. I want this podcast to give new, positive meanings to the difficult times that you faced in your life. And I want to help you become the best version of you possible. This is your time. The change is happening for you now. I know you're ready. Let's help today to change your life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining me for another episode of Unlock the Power of Your Mind. Today, I have with me Tim Lyons. Tim is the founder and CEO of ProFit Marketing Solutions and Pulse Fitness Training Facility. He is recently launched a tremendous book called Built to Grow, and he has a podcast also titled Built to Grow that is set to come out soon. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a man who not only talks the talk, but walks the walk. And I'm super excited to have a conversation with Tim today. Tim, how are you, my friend?
Great, Ryan. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. I feel honored to have you on. I know you're doing some big things there. I see ProFit Marketing Solutions all over my Instagram feed. So I know that you guys are doing some big things. You just had a book that launched, Built to Grow. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Share with the listeners a little bit about Built to Grow, about the book and, kind of who it's designed to help.
Yeah, absolutely. So Built to Grow is really my personal story about how I came up in the industry of the fitness business, but it's packed full of lessons and life lessons, both business and life, just talking about how to, get out of your own way, how to, overcome adversity, how to build a team, leadership, going all in. And I think it's a gym owner style book or a training personal trainer that's looking to open a gym, but it's also a general entrepreneurship book as well. So we're excited to get that out. That just launched about a month ago.
Awesome, man. And you worked with Mike Fallad on that?
Yes, sir. Great guy.
Nice. Yeah, Mike's an awesome guy. So what I love to unpack with you today, and we'll get into a little bit of the entrepreneurship stuff and how you help fitness professionals. What I'd really love to maybe speak with you about is some of those life lessons from your book and how the listeners can apply that. Maybe it's an entrepreneur that is listening to this that is struggling or feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Maybe it's somebody on a fitness or a health and wellness journey that can't seem to kind of get some momentum going. So give the listeners a little bit of a preview of what the episode will be like. But Tim, share with the listeners what your early childhood was like, just a couple quick minutes so that they can get connected to you.
Sure. I mean, my childhood grew up in Mesa, Arizona, about as normal as you can get, right? I was a middle class, white collar family. Parents are still married. I think it's in their 30, 40 years. I don't know, probably over 30 years now, obviously. No, 40 years. Gosh, they'll kill me for not knowing that. But parents still together, great upbringing, played sports. My parents put me in just about everything, soccer, t-ball, any type of recreational thing that they can get, probably to get me out of the house. Probably now that I'm thinking about it, they probably just get me out of the house. So I was always outside playing and, good friends. Grew up, basically becoming an athlete, playing college football. Was always, big, good at grades. I was good at school. I was very committed to everything that I did. And so I don't know. There's no rags to riches story here. It was, I came right through like I should, right? I popped out just where I should have popped out and ended up with a college scholarship and played football for a small school called University of Louisiana Monroe. It's a small Division I school. I guess that's called the FBS. So it's, we played a lot of the big teams like Tennessee and Florida and Kansas State and Alabama and those. We got crushed, but it was a great experience. Wouldn't change it for the world. Came out of college, went right into school. My parents said, you can come home for about 10 days, and then your ass better get out there and start getting to work. So no problem, Mom, Dad, I'm out of here. So moved to California, picked up my first job right out of college, which was nice. It's not very common anymore where you have a job lined up for you even before you graduate. So that was cool. And then I worked in the construction management field for, I think 9 years.
What'd you go to school for, Tim?
It was construction management out of the business school. So I was being groomed to be a project manager or superintendent out on the job site. So running teams and running projects, working with architects and engineers. I really wanted to go to school for engineering. My brain is a logical brain, very engineering esque. And that was the closest thing they had. They didn't have an engineering school there. So I went into construction school and I loved it. I loved being in construction, being outside, being able to drive past projects that I had a part of. You see a building that's been built, and obviously it'll be there for 50, 100 years down the road, and you can drive past it and just remember the stories of building that building together with the teams that you were with and all the contractors that were out there. Big, $100 million projects and stuff. So that was a blast. And then, ran into a guy that owned a gym one day. I was living in a small town in Arizona down in Maricopa. And he owned what's called Anytime Fitness, very popular franchise in the industry today, and got to know the guy. He had a great business model. He was never there. He was a police officer, and just watched how he ran his operation. So just before the turn of the economic collapse, where construction companies were just going under left and right, I had started plans to build the gym. And so by luck of fate or whatever you want to call it, I got laid off as about 97 of the other employees in the company did that one day. And I got thrown into the industry, and I learned as I went. And that's really what the book's about, being able to overcome all kinds of stuff, because we were about to close the doors, in the first 3 months, and I had to make some changes and pivots in the business, and grew it from there. Now very successful 10 years later. And, now we're coaching other gym owners to do the same.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you've definitely proven, that you are the consummate professional in the industry and an expert. I'd like to take it back to college because I was a college athlete myself, not at the D1 level, but I definitely learned a lot of valuable life lessons. Share with the listeners what was one of your biggest takeaways from that time playing college football, Division I, where you mentally were facing some adversity, emotionally facing some adversity. What did you learn? And then how were you able to apply that to business today?
You nailed it, right? Adversity is at every corner. So when you come onto a team, you're not starting. You're on the roster, but you're down on the bottom, and you got to work your ass off to get to the top. And coming into a school where I didn't know anybody, I played, and just you have to work, right? And so the greatest thing about, I think, sports in general, be it at the high school level, college, even into the pros, is that teamwork, camaraderie, the greater good, kind of working for a goal as part of a team, and you support your brothers and sisters, whoever, depending on the team you're playing on. And I really feel that helped me grow, because you can't do anything alone in this world. I mean, even if it's as simple as listening to this podcast, you're still getting advice. You can't just come up with stuff on your own. And I really feel that just going through every turn of like, okay, now you're not starting anymore, or they're changing the offense, or, you get hurt, or all the things that just slap you in the face, really conditions you for life, because that's how it happens in real life. Now, the other side of the coin is it doesn't prepare you for life, because when you're in college, especially in your senior year, I tell this story a lot. You go from maybe having classes half the day, and maybe even having a Friday off, and the rest of it, I mean, if you're ahead, right? If you're ahead and you're going to graduate early like I did, you go from maybe 10 hours a week of school into a 60 or 70 hour work week in the workforce. And that was like a blind side, right? But again, one of those things you got to overcome, and you just figure it out as you go, and you don't quit.
For sure. Yeah, I would say that was probably one of my biggest takeaways, as well as, how to work together in a team. I'm sure being that was an area that you were unfamiliar with, and a lot of people, you had to, learn how to forge those relationships in a short period of time with, like you said, brothers and sisters that you were going to go to war with, right?
Yes, 100%. You got it.
So share with the listeners, Anytime Fitness, you started up your own chain, or you worked with that police officer? What was the story there?
Yeah, great question. So my mission was to, or my ultimate like kind of plan was to open an Anytime Fitness. I found a space. I started working with the franchise Youre, and come to find out the whole state of Arizona was locked up by an investment group, and they had all the rights. And so instead of, and it was early on, they didn't really have a name for themselves like they do now. And, I said, you know what, I'll do my own thing. So I created Pulse Fitness, which is, it's my own brand. It's not a chain. It could be a chain, but I don't really have aspirations to do that. But I've kind of followed the model a little bit, and then I can't come to find out, just as I'm opening, that investment group dissolves, and I had the right, and I said, you know what, I'm already just about done. I was going to open in like a couple of weeks, and they wanted me to jump on board with them. And I said no, and I'm glad I didn't, because the funny story is I work with a lot of Anytime Fitness owners, a lot of them. And, nothing to say bad about the company, but they have a lot of rules they have to follow, and I have to follow no rules. And it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always nice to be able to pave your own way. What was going through your mind? Because, hey, there's probably a lot of listeners out there that in any aspect of their life, maybe it's a personal relationship, maybe it's a business decision where they have built something up in their mind. Maybe they put in a lot of work. They get right to the point where it's about to launch, or the ship is about to set sail, and there's that curveball, or that for you it was kind of, hey, you could also go in this direction if you wanted to. You decided to stick to your guns and stick with Pulse. What was your mindset at that time? There must have been a little bit of a temptation to go with the larger chain name, right?
Yeah. It's funny. I just did a podcast, because I am recording our new podcast right now. And we actually, this was one of the podcast episodes we just did yesterday, in fact. And it was really about not being so in love with your service that you're blinded by, the success or failure of it. Meaning, when we first opened, I was 3 months into the business, and the model was off. It wasn't bringing in the revenue that we wanted to. It was not the right model for the area. And we would have closed if I didn't see the numbers clearly. And I was so in love with, this is my model and this is the way it's going to be. We would be closed by now. So we were, basically an open gym. You can come use the gym anytime you want. And we had independent, what's called contract personal trainers, that would rent the space, and they would train clients out of my space. And just, they were making all the money, and I was making these $29 and $39 and $49 memberships. And they were making, $10,000 checks and $15,000 checks when they're selling these huge training packages. And I quickly realized that I was taking all the risk. It was my equipment, my debt, all the stuff that I put into it. And the guys and girls that were working there as independent owner, like trainers, were making all the money. It's like, something's wrong here. I'm doing all the marketing. I'm getting them all the clients, and they would just sell these huge packages, and they were paying me like $500 a month in rent, like nothing. So that's when I sought out a better solution. I ran into a mentor friend of mine who's a great friend of mine now, named Rick Mayo. And I actually flew out to his gym out in Atlanta, and I learned his new model. And I was like, man, this is the way to go. It turned out to be a training model. So you didn't have basic memberships, but you trained every client. Every client in the gym had some type of training program that they were going through. But that meant I had to bring on a lot of staff and train all the clients. And it's been the best thing that I could have ever done. So if I was just stuck in my ways, I would have been closed. So I'm glad that I was open-minded to make changes like that.
Yeah, it sounds like that's an incredible sense of self-awareness that you had to be able to step outside and say, okay, this is the business. This is my passion. And then, hey, this is my ego over here, and being able to kind of navigate through all those to make the right decision for your business. So would you say that's accurate, Tim?
100%. Absolutely. Yep.
How what actionable strategies do you have to share with the listeners? And hey, how do I skirt that line between belief in myself and ego and being adaptable? And like you said, pivot, which I think is so key in any aspect of life.
Yeah, well, you got to understand what you're doing it for. If it's a business, it's there to make a profit. I mean, that's the first thing. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense, I guess, if you want to say that analogy or whatever. But at the end of the day, you have to pay the bills and you got to pay yourself. And if it's not doing that, something needs to change. And, there's a lot of struggling business owners that don't pay themselves. And it's tough because they love what they do. They're proud of what they've built and they just can't get out of their own way. And that's when it makes a lot of sense to bring in a third party to help. I mean, that's the big thing. A lot of business owners are A personalities, driven people, and they don't want to ask for help. Like the guy that won't ask for directions with his wife in the car kind of thing, doesn't want to lower his ego, right? And it's just, you have to, I mean, at the end of the day, if you need help, somebody's already paved the way somewhere that's already gone through the same problems you have. Shortcut the solution and hire somebody that can help you. That's the biggest takeaway I think I can give to anybody here. If it's a mastermind group or it's a consultant or a coach or a business coach or whoever it is, you got to have help. I mean, Michael Jordan's the best basketball player on the planet at the time, at least, and he had coaches. And if he's, you know what I mean? So even when you're at the top, it's always smart to invest in coaching.
For sure. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. It helps to have somebody to hold you accountable, somebody to guide you, another set of eyes in any aspect of life, right? Whether you're evaluating a business, you're evaluating a personal relationship, maybe you're evaluating your own personal health and wellness plan and what you've been doing. So I'm with you 100%. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're self-aware, you've realized that you needed some help, you got the help of the mentor, you change up the business model. Take the listeners from there, Tim.
So we changed the business model and we exploded. So this was a service that we were providing to the clients in our area. And, and I don't know if you've ever been to Arizona, but we're in a city called North Scottsdale, which is probably on the highest economic, whatever scale, very affluent. And it, as much as I wanted to be the hands-off passive gym owner guy, it was really the service that needed to be done was people wanted help. They needed help and somebody to coach them, and they could afford to pay it. And we created these training programs and grew and grew and grew. And we grew out of our space. In fact, I ended my lease early so I could take over a space that was 3 times the size, just a block north of here and of there. And now I'm in the new space now. We continue to grow. Our team's growing. And we're at a point where it actually, full circle, I'm removed from the business 100%. I have a great team. I've got systems in place. Everybody knows what to do. I still run the marketing because that's the other company that I run is a fitness marketing company. But the team's there. So if I want to, I can go and leave for 2 months and the place will probably grow because usually I'm the one that gets in the way. You step back, let the team go. And I'm at a point where this is the pinnacle of what a lot of gym owners want to be. They want to be, the 4-hour work week guy and not have to be the self-employed business owner that is required to be there for the business to operate. I'm actually truly a business owner that owns a business that operates solely and independently without me, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Turnkey, right?
Yeah. And then there's that path, if you really want to call it passive. I mean, if you think about a business as a stock that pays you dividends and it's an investment, this is where I'm at. And I could leave and I could turn it over to the guys and girls that are training here and working here and just go and leave. And the place will be fine.
Let's take it 2 different things for the listeners. Number 1, entrepreneur side. Number 2, personal side. So from a personal standpoint, what is the top, because you're the expert professional and obviously it's something that you're very passionate about. What do you think is the top 1, 2, maybe 3 things that an individual needs to do if they're looking to make a change in their health and wellness?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's funny because that's part of the business that I'm in is right. Health and wellness. And being an athlete, I've got 99 problems, but getting to the gym and working out 6 or 7 days a week is not one of them. I've never had that problem. I went to the gym because it was the job that I had to do, especially, being in football or in athletics, that's what you do. And so it was ingrained in me. But the one thing I would say that everybody should have is a routine, especially a morning routine. I don't care if you want to get up and meditate or read or spend some time alone and write down your plans for the day, but you should have, I feel, the same routine every single day, because then you know what to expect. I've got my schedule down to the minute, and I go and I train in the morning. I come home, I eat breakfast, I shower, I check an email or two, shoot off a call, and then by the time I take my calls, it's 10 a.m. That's my day. When I'm coaching clients. So I don't have anything on my schedule. I block my schedule out until 10 a.m. because I know that's when I'm at my optimum peak, and I've got all the things done that I want to do for myself for the day. Now the day is great. If something throws a wrench in it, like a doctor's appointment, my day usually collapses on me. Like something doesn't feel right. I don't know if you ever feel that way if you don't follow your routine. But when you're on a routine, everything's a system. And I don't know. It just works better. So you got to get that workout. I feel in looking at our clients here at the gym, the most successful clients work out first thing in the morning. If it's 5 a.m., 6 a.m., or 7 a.m., they get their workout done. It's their time, and then they go off with their day. And the clients that we train are CEOs and doctors and high-level executives that we train in the morning. Is because they have that ingrained, right? They get that done. If you wait till the end of the day, something's going to happen, and it's very hard for you to make that up. And get in and train.
For sure. I'm in agreement with you 100%. I think the most successful people like yourself own the mornings. I do say to people this in the beginning, hey, listen, if you're not a morning you're getting into, for the listeners out there, if you're really just getting into fitness for the first time, or you're getting back into it, and you're not a quote unquote morning person, don't lie to yourself and say that you're going to get up at 5 a.m. when for the past 10 years you've been getting up at 8 or 9. Right. So set a realistic goal, but for sure, the more you can own those first couple hours of your day, I think it just sets up so much momentum for the rest of your day. Would you agree with that, Tim?
Absolutely. And if it means going to bed an hour earlier and getting up an hour before, all you need is an hour. And we, in this industry, we say fitness is probably 30% of the equation. Nutrition is the 70%. You got to get a meal plan. I have a chef, so I use a chef that cooks my meals. I don't have to think. I don't look at food in my day as an event where I'm sitting down and enjoying the meal and the experience and drinking wine and doing the whole thing and eating dessert and appetizers. It's fuel. I eat it out of a damn Tupperware, and I move on with my day. I use it as fuel. Like I'm filling up the gas tank. I think about it as performance. And so if I'm putting in good fuel, I know I'm going to get good, work out of myself. And so it's habits. It takes a lot of discipline, but when you get to that point, if you don't do it, then you feel off. So that's the best part. When you get it in your, just part of your day and you don't think twice and just what you do, I think you've made it really. But it's hard to get there. You might have to invest some time and money, get a nutritionist, get somebody to write you out a meal plan, and get somebody to cook your food for you. You end up, everybody's like, oh, it's so expensive. But I save myself money every single week by just paying my chef to do the meals in bulk.
Yeah, I say the same thing to people. Cool. So let's shift gears. Let's take it over to the entrepreneurial side. Tim, what would you say is, in your professional experience, where would you say is like maybe one or two of the biggest hiccups, landmines, kind of hidden areas where people are failing, where as an entrepreneur, if you can make these one or two shifts with your business, or, set the gate, set yourself right from the jump, that your business will be set up to be more successful?
Well, as unsexy as it sounds, it's probably the word systems that create the change. So when you can create a system around everything that you do in your business, how you answer the phone, how you greet somebody, how you write an email, what times you're responding to emails. It's really not sexy at all. Everybody wants to know, oh, buy this one thing and it fixes everything. I would disagree. I think it's the little things across the board done right is what makes all the difference. So that's the first thing I would say is having a system. And if you're an entrepreneur that has a team, like you have employees, get out of the way. This is something I had to learn early was I would hire people to do things, but then I would end up doing it for them because I just wanted to do it faster and do it done right. And instead of taking the time to train those individuals, when you spend the time to develop an employee, that's time well spent. And you get out of your own way and let them do their job because employees, they really just want to do good. Like if you think about it, a lot of them are you think that they're all in it for the money and they're just punching the clock and going through their day. But I think personally that they want to feel like they're making a difference and they want to do good and they want to know that what they're doing is helping. And genuine people are. I mean, there's some people out there that just punch a clock and go home. But I think if you train your team, you got your system set, I think you're set up really good for success. And then maybe the one last thing, if you're starting out in business or even if you're a veteran in business, if you haven't read the book E-Myth, please read it. Really, the end of the day, it talks about, and you've read this book, right, Ryan?
I actually haven't. No.
Okay.
What E-Myth?
Yeah, E-Myth. There's like 5 versions of it. It's like one of those staple business books. But basically, the moral of the story is whether or not you're going to sell your business or whether or not you're going to franchise or expand or do multiple units of anything that you're doing, create your first business as a prototype of if you were going to sell your business, meaning do all the manuals and do all the systems and all the things that all the processes that you have to do and have them in a book or on an online portal or create them first, right? And then have that as your model. And then you'll always have those systems in place. So it talks about the staffing plan in there, and it talks about really creating that first prototype facility as if you were going to franchise or sell it off in the future. And that's one of the best books you could read.
Nice. I'm going to have to check that one out. So I don't know if the listeners caught this or not, but ladies and gentlemen, whether it is your own personal change that you're looking to make, or whether you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to make some changes to your business or get your business going off in the right way, listen to the expert here. Tim is telling you, you need to make sure that you have some good procedures, policies, habits, whatever word it is that you want to use. Right, Tim? We want to make sure that we're getting those set in place right off the bat.
Yeah, you want to be intentional with your day. Don't let the day determine how your day goes. Like things are going to get thrown at you a million times, especially in the small business world that we live in. But you should know how to handle all those things and planning your day out. And I don't ever do this, but I feel like it's a good thing, and I've been wanting to do it. But just writing down the 3 big things you want to get done for that day. That's always good. But the one thing that I do is if I've got a list of things that need to get done today, and there's a million things on that list, I prioritize the ones that are going to generate revenue as top priority, period. So if something's going to make us money, I'm going to do that first. Or if something's going to just be a busy thing that has to get done, maybe it's some client work or whatever, I'll do that after we do the things that are going to generate revenue first.
Love it. Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, for your own personal life, do the things that are going to make a difference, a positive difference in your life. Being on Instagram for 30 minutes in the morning is not going to be making a positive difference in your life unless you're utilizing it as a business tool, right? Sitting around and watching TV, gossiping with your coworkers at the water cooler. That's not the best investment in the beginning, really at any point in time of your day, but certainly not in the beginning. It's just going to distract you and throw you off course. So, Tim, I have to ask you this, man, because I respect the heck out of you. You built Pulse Fitness Training Facility. It wasn't an easy road, but now it's turnkey. You've got ProFit Marketing Solutions. Now you're helping other people. You've got Built to Grow, your book, which, for anybody that's written a book, they know just how much time and an investment in that is. Now you've got the podcast. What motivates you?
Are you there, buddy?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Did we lose you?
Yeah, there you are. I caught like the first two words. That was
okay.
it.
Let me, okay. We're going to have to make a note of that one. So I have to ask you, Tim, what motivates you? Because you've got Pulse Fitness Training Facility, you built from the ground up. You've got your ProFit marketing solution, so you're helping other entrepreneurs to grow their business. You've got your book. For anybody that's written a book, they know just how much time, effort, and energy that takes. Now you've got the podcast. Like at this point, what is your motivation to take it to the next level?
Motivation for me is momentum, I think. Did I lose you again?
No. What momentum?
Yeah, momentum. So if I have momentum in my business, be it creating something new, moving the needle on anything, a new project, that's very motivating for me. Very. So having the book come out, parlaying that into a podcast with the same title, that drives me. I'm up early. I'm ready to do it. If the business is stagnant, I'm kind of like depressed, not depressed, but like low energy. I'm like, what am I doing here? I always have to have something working, a project, something bigger, something that puts me out of the comfort zone and staying motivated. And that's what keeps me motivated. So I heard somebody on a video one time say this, and it hit me like a smack in the face. And what it basically, you know who it was? I don't know if you follow Russell Brunson at all. Do you follow him?
No.
Yes, Russell Brunson is the founder of ClickFunnels, which is an online, landing page software that we do a lot of our work on. And basically, I hired him a couple of years back. I paid him $25,000 a year to be in his inner circle, which is his mastermind group. I was in it for a couple of years, and what he said was, entrepreneurs and small business owners, if whatever you want to call it, have a very tough time taking a break and like going on vacation. Like your family's like, hey, you need to take some time off. Entrepreneurs don't need time off. What they need is momentum. So when momentum's swinging in a positive direction, you feel happy. When momentum's going slowly, you feel sad. And it's not about time on or time off of work. It's your work is who you are. So when you have momentum in your business, maybe you're just landed a big client, or you're coming out with a new product, or you got a book that's coming out, or a podcast like I have. It's like, that's when I'm the happiest. And so in order to enjoy yourself in those times that you have to spend with your family and going on vacation, because they really feel like you need to be on vacation because you work too hard, if you've ever heard that before. Really the best thing that you can do is create momentum prior to you going on vacation. So if I'm going on vacation next week, I'm going to create a sales email sequence that's going through automation while I'm on vacation, so I can see those sales coming in, see the positive responses to the emails or whatever my campaign is while I'm on vacation. Then I can really enjoy it. So it comes to momentum. That's really the end of the day. It's either positive or negative momentum.
Yeah,
and that's when I'm happy, and that's when I'm motivated.
Wow, that's incredible. And, so you really do that before, if you know that you're going away for a little bit or going on a conference or whatever the case may be, and you're going to be out of the office, you will strategically line something up, a project that is going to be working behind the scenes, so that you can see like, okay, I got this email. All right, here's the update.
Yes, exactly what awesome. I do. I did that before I heard that video that he did, and I was like, wow. That makes a lot of sense. And that's why it's really hard for entrepreneurs to go on vacation and take time off away from their businesses, because then momentum will slow. So yes, strategically, I'll do something that creates momentum while I'm not working. And that's a great feeling. You can really enjoy yourself.
Yeah, love it. So let's talk about ProFit Marketing Solutions. What services do you offer, and how does somebody get in touch with you, Tim? Because I know after listening to this, they know that you're the expert in the field. So share more about ProFit.
Yeah, so ProFit Marketing Solutions started out as a marketing agency that would help fitness businesses, and actually not just fitness businesses. We've worked with CPAs and dentists and a few other, industries, but 99%, I would say, is in the fitness industry, brick and mortar. And we started off as a marketing agency, and what the number one demand or request is, hey, I need more clients for my business. And we would do that for our clients. And what happened is when we pushed in a lot of new clients and leads into a business, a lot of other things would break. And we started doing sales coaching because, hey, we got you the leads, but they can't close the deals. What do I do, Tim? And we created a sales coaching program. And then it was, hey, Tim, I've got the sales and I got the leads and the sales are coming in, but my systems are broken and I don't know how to keep people. So we created a coaching program, and that's where we shifted our focus. While we still do some marketing, actually a lot of marketing for gyms, we're really into coaching now. We've gotten deep into systems and creating things around the business that allows that gym owner to step away, like I've been fortunate enough to get to. And so that's really what we're doing today is coaching and helping gym owners just create that business that serves them versus them serving the business every day.
Love it. And Built to Grow, man, the book, where can the listeners get it? And who are some guests that you're going to have lined up for the podcast, Built to Grow?
Yeah, great question. So timlyonsbook.com, that's the best way to get to the book. So that is a free plus shipping. So we've bought the book for you, just pay for shipping and we'll send it out to you. We ship out every Monday and Friday. So we get it to you in a few days. And that's the book. What was the other question, Ryan? I'm sorry.
Tim, TimLyons book.com. So timlyonsbook.com. That's awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Tim's going to buy the book. Just cover the shipping. The podcast, what guests do we have coming up? What can the listeners expect when this drops?
Well, good. Yeah, great question. As of right now, we built a studio out. It's a beautiful studio here in the gym, and we soundproofed it. And right now, it's me and a co-host every day. We're doing lessons and stories around business, and then eventually, we're going to get to a point where we bring guests in. Most likely, high-profile entrepreneurs that are mostly in the fitness industry. We'll probably bring it into the show. But most of this podcast is going to be me and the co-host. And I like it that way for a couple reasons. I can just walk, into my office and go into the studio and just drop a podcast without having to schedule anything. I think that's the way I work best is, man, I got this just happened with a client. I think the listeners need to hear about it. And I'll just jump in here and knock out a podcast or two. So haven't figured out the guests, but I already spoke to somebody this morning that I was on his podcast and he wants to be on the show, and I'm happy to do that. I think I'm going to do probably 12 episodes and then start doing guests after that. And I think we're on episode number 5. We're going to drop 6 at a time. So we'll drop 6 next week and then 6 the following week. And then we'll be into guests and things like that.
Awesome. Tim, how can the listeners get in touch with you?
Well, you can go to... Well, I got a new website coming out. It's going to be official timlyons.com. That'll be my website. It's my personal website. All things, whatever I'm into, right? The book will be on there. The podcast links will be there. I would say that'll be ready in about a week. So by the time this probably comes out, it'll be official timlyons.com and just go there.
Nice. And I have to ask you this because I know that you love to build momentum, and I'm sure you've already thought about this. What's next after the podcast? What's going to be the next step?
Well, I just started the podcast. What's the next step? What's cool about the podcast is, and this, is I think this is going to drive the business in a bigger way than anything else we can do. We're doing all the video, all the podcasts are going to be on video as well as on our YouTube channel, Built to Grow podcast, and that all the videos will be there, and we'll just start parlaying that. We know marketing really, really well, and whichever direction we go, I think we can fuel it with the content we're going to be producing. So really, it's sky's the limit at this point. I've been asked to be part of boards of companies, and I've been asked to open up multiple locations, and it's just I'm very strategic in what I'm doing because takes a lot of time in anything that you do. So I'm just happy to get this damn podcast out of the way. I got the book. The book was hard enough, man. The book's hard enough. Got that out of the way. And I think you got one coming out too, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. But no, that's awesome. And I know exactly what you mean with the video content. I'm sure you and I are the same. Whatever we do, we like to do at the absolute most elite level. So I know what you're saying, man. We're putting out the video content and the audio content, having it be quality, and all the value that you're going to provide in there. It's really kind of almost like the TV show webinar linked in with the podcast. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's how people are digesting their content today, is just like this. They're listening to us in the car right now, I'm sure, or they're on their way to the gym, or they're in the gym training and they've got this on in the earbuds, and, YouTube's like TV. So it's basically just different forms in different mediums that we're using. And I just want to leverage every single one I can. And a lot of times I was very hesitant. I mean, I don't know, when did you start your podcast? A few years ago, right?
Yeah, 2017.
Right. So I'm way behind, and I'm just trying to play catch up on a lot of this stuff. A lot of times I'm a little hesitant to jump into things because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist and stuff. And I would tell you that's probably hurt me by getting out there. But usually when my stuff comes out, it's always, like you said, top quality, professional. I mean, dang, I just spent, $20,000 building the studio out, and I could have done it, for, like, I see a lot of my friends doing stuff from their car, right? And they just record it on their iPhone and send it out. It's great. It's there's two sides of that coin. Speed, which would probably be the best solution, but I'm just a little bit more of a perfectionist that sometimes that slows me down. And that would probably be my biggest fault, but whatever, it is who I am, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, well, you got it up and going now. So best of luck. Whatever I can do to be of service or to help you out, that would be my pleasure. But I want to be respectful of your time because I know you're a busy guy. Thank you so much on behalf of the listeners. I know they're going to be able to take a lot away from this, Tim. So thank you so much.
I'm happy to do it, Ryan. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All the best. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this podcast today. My prayer is that it has helped to change your life, to make a positive impact in your life. And I just want to let you know that every single day, the first goal that I write down is I have changed 1 million lives. So ladies and gentlemen, if this podcast helped to change your life today, I would ask you to please go on to iTunes, rate, review, and share this episode with somebody else who you know will benefit and have their life changed. Thank you again so very much. It means the world to me. Go out there and be great today. Make a positive impact in the world.